This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Kickstart summer at Lowe's with Memorial Day savings on major appliances like the Smart Whirlpool Top Load Washer, featuring the 2-in-1 removable agitator in a color you'll only find at Lowe's. Take it out for bulky items, leave it in for a more thorough clean. You can customize any load, plus skip steps with the Load and Go dispenser. Simply add detergent once and skip the refills. Memorial Day savings start now at Lowe's. Shop in-store or online today.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your home is going into foreclosure and you feel like a financial wreck. You don't know where to turn for accurate information. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne. Let's talk about some legal options. If we work quickly, we can propose a plan to save your home, modify the loan, or in many cases even eliminate your second mortgage. The consultation is free. I've helped hundreds of people just like you make informed decisions about whether to save their home or exit it on a reasonable, organized timeline. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. Well, neighbors, man, you gotta love them. Gotta love them. There's a woman named Hannah. She's from Missouri. She's a neighbor. And why are we talking about her? Well, because she just doesn't understand why her neighbors consider her yard art a nuisance. And, well, I'll tell you what it is.
Flamingos.
It's close,
nice.
Steve. You're close. You're on the right track.
Uh-oh.
It's kind of flamingo. It's a mannequin with a goose head instead of a human head.
Right.
Okay.
Is this like a Halloween thing, or is this just like a usual thing?
It feels.
Oh, this is weird. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, and also there's a bunch of fake geese around it. So yeah, here's Hannah talking about this this yard art of hers.
They labeled it as a nuisance, and I just feel like that's completely unfair of them to do, considering like it's not causing anybody harm. I don't know, it doesn't make sounds. I wouldn't consider it a nuisance.
Doesn't make sound.
If it started honking, that would be amazing.
I would stop by that house every day for a laugh.
Right?
I love that she's rocking a Stranger Things shirt because it's really, that sums it up best.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. If it was in her backyard, I think maybe, you know, like, okay, fine. There's nobody that should complain about it because your backyard is for all your weird stuff. But your front yard, I suppose, is the show part of the house. And
nothing makes me want to live in that development more than a Goose Lady.
Yeah, but she looks very artistic. So I feel like, you know what, this is like her art sculpture.
I like that her whole argument, though, was it doesn't make any sound, so I don't understand why anyone's bothered by this.
Yeah. Well, I guess, you know, it's like it's not, you know, you wouldn't know it was there until you actually saw it. But I have to tell you something. I mean, there are worse things that my neighbors could do.
Yeah, like have a Steelers flag or something like that out there. That's why I moved out of my last development.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Or
Wow.
a full-on skate park in their front yard like we used to have at my old neighborhood.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah, we built ramps. Me and my neighbor built ramps and had them in like our driveway. But we didn't have an HOA, so no one could complain about it. It was great.
Yeah, that's those moments where HOA does kind of do the Lord's work. When they have to deal with those kind of weird situations. Or I just love the goose mannequin with the goose head surrounded by other, like, with geese.
Yes.
As if they're looking up to their leader, the human goose lady.
Yeah.
That's exactly, you know what, the geese are all like, oh, you are in charge.
It's pretty sweet art.
Yeah. And so I don't know what that means if they consider it a nuisance, and then where do they go from there? Are you able to, like, you know, get it taken away, or is it just the neighbors going, maybe we can shame her into getting rid of this thing?
Do you think they ever knocked on her door, or they just complained?
Oh, just complained. I can guarantee that.
They probably went on Nextdoor app and bitched about her.
Okay,
Yeah.
but at that point, are you going to go? Do you want to go to the goose lady head's door, knock on the door, and be like, "Hey, can you take this?"
I kind of want to have a conversation.
And then you go missing.
That's a good point.
Now you're part of the art.
Yeah, next, you're part of her art is right. Yeah.
Why does that? She got a new one. It looks kind of like Steve with a goose head.
Yeah, I
got his tattoos. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's nice that the goose lady's now got a companion. It all works out well.
Nice tribute.
Yeah.
Where's Steve been the last couple of weeks anyway?
Yeah. Feel like there's a basement of that house you don't want to explore.
You're probably right. Maybe it's best just to go in the Nextdoor app.
I think I saw in the video, which, by the way, you can catch on the BJ and Migs page of KISW.com. It looks like she's got a printout, which is, I'm wondering if somebody just took a picture and printed it out and then also wrote, "You're a nuisance" with this thing. So I feel like it's very passive aggressive. It doesn't feel like anybody specifically, pulled a Steve and said, "Hey, I'm going to go over here and have a chat with you."
They probably left her a note.
Yeah, which again, normally I don't like passive aggressive behavior, but if you wonder if she's got a basement with other people in there, you're probably just like, yeah, I'm not going to talk to this lady. I'm just going to say, please remove your creepy Buffalo Bill-like art from your yard. Thank you. Do you think that's what it is? Do you think they think she's a serial killer type?
No, I mean...
No, they probably just think it's ugly, you weirdo.
Yeah, I don't know if we've gone to that level of she's a serial killer, but I think they just, we're sick of looking at the goose lady when we go home.
Well, I mean, I think there's some ugly things in my neighbors' yards around me. I wouldn't say ugly, but things that I don't like. But I never, it's not to the level where I would go, oh, yeah, we all have to get together and get rid of whatever it is you have.
But have you ever had a goose lady in someone's front yard?
I haven't, but again, I think if that showed up in one of my yards around me, I just feel like I got to deal with it. It's like... It's not inappropriate. It's just weird, but that's their yard. I mean, that's how I feel like. It's like they bought the property. They get to do what they want, don't they?
So long as Goose Man's not behind Goose Lady.
Yeah. Well, yeah, or the Goose Lady doesn't come over and take a dump on my yard like everybody's animals. I don't mind.
See, you have set the bar kind of low. So long as your neighbors don't leave their dog poop in your yard, you're fine.
Yeah. I mean, I think the HOA society has really... gone overboard in some cases. Yeah, there are some yards like Danny's that are, just an eyesore, and they should be removed from the neighborhood. Wow.
Well, what's more of an eyesore? A skateboard ramp or a mannequin with a goose for a head?
Well, don't forget, there's noise and then Danny. See, wherever there's a skateboard ramp, there's Danny. And that's the nuisance right there.
And then you have to listen to Good Charlotte at 10 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
You're right. That's worse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, that's I'd like to have Danny removed from the studio, as a matter of fact. He's a nuisance.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I was going to build a skate ramp in here, too, so.
Oh, I was going to put a goose on your head.
Why not both?
Why not both?
Yeah. You know what? A goose riding skateboard guy. That's the...
Sure, why not?
Yeah, there we go. All right, so that is not the most horrific thing that you'll hear today. Apparently, there was an 11-year-old that was accidentally stabbed at a haunted house because the actor was using a real knife. Yeah, Steve will tell you all about this. He's got the Migs report for you at 6:18 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Kickstart summer at Lowe's with Memorial Day savings on major appliances like the smart Whirlpool top-load washer featuring the 2-in-1 removable agitator in a color you'll only find at Lowe's. Take it out for bulky items, leave it in for a more thorough clean. You can customize any load, plus skip steps with the Load and Go dispenser. Simply add detergent once and skip the refills. Memorial Day savings start now at Lowe's. Shop in-store or online today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
$20 million, $19 million. $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle.
Well informed on the issues of the day? Not this guy. Live from the KISW News Center in downtown Seattle, this is the Miggs Report.
Well, thanks, you guys, and thanks to Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical. And today is a day to enjoy yourself some chocolate milk.
Oh, really?
National Chocolate Milk Day.
All right, then.
Haven't had chocolate milk in forever, but
Yeah, right.
I guess maybe we gotta have a yoo-hoo. Do whatever you want.
Lily the other day was like, Dad, I learned how to make chocolate milk. Did you know you put chocolate syrup and regular milk and then it's chocolate? And I was like, yes, child. Yes, I get
You
it.
should be like, no, stupid. You get it from the chocolate cows.
Of course.
That would have been the best answer.
That would have been the moment where she realizes she's smarter than Dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
But speaking of Dad and all of us, it's also National Morning Show Host Day, so you have to be nice.
Oh,
to
wow.
us today.
Yeah.
And today
Good for
and
us.
today only. It's our day, BJ.
All right. Woo! Finally.
All right, so I don't know if you guys have ever been to a haunted house. I love going in them. They're a lot of fun, but sometimes the actors, like the zombies and the scary clowns, they get maybe a little too aggressive with those chainsaws, even though there's no chains on them, or no blades on them. It's just like, okay, dude, pump the brakes. Like, you're not scaring me, you're annoying me.
Yeah.
But how about this guy? He took his job a little too serious and came to work with an actual knife and accidentally stabbed an 11-year-old kid in Ohio who was at a haunted house right by Cleveland, somewhere in the Cleveland area. Thankfully, it wasn't serious and the kid's going to be okay. He just stabbed him, not just, but he stabbed him in the foot. The actor's a 22-year-old, and yeah, he realized that was a bad idea. He even said, I realized that using a real knife was a bad idea. And the police determined it was an accident. The kid's mom didn't want to press charges. And how about the kid, how tough this kid is? He got stabbed in the foot, bandaged himself up, and he insisted on finishing the haunted house.
Wow. Okay, then. This kid is, he's legit.
And Rev, you'll like this kid because he was wearing Crocs.
Yeah, look at that. Well, I guess
that's
Crocs
how we
can't defend against knives.
No, it cut
No,
through
they
his
can't.
It gave a little cut on his toe.
Well, that's good to know.
Well, it could have been worse maybe if he used some other shoes. I don't know. Maybe it could have been an awful story where he lost a toe had he not been wearing his Crocs.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's really a thing. I mean, the Crocs literally have holes in them.
Yeah, but if the other part, the rubber part, doesn't have holes.
Yeah? So you're saying that it was like a steel-toed boot? Really? It's like, that's what we're talking about here?
I'm not testing this, by the way.
We've got a knife. Rev, you have your Crocs.
Get away from me.
All right, let's head on over to Detroit, where this man by the name of Rahul has been charged with indecent exposure. Instead of me explaining why he got charged with indecent exposure, I'm going to let the local news reporter explain what happened.
A Royal Oak man has been charged with indecent exposure for sitting in a car in the parking lot of the Fox Volkswagen car dealership wearing only bondage gear, women's lingerie, and no pants.
So is that frowned upon?
I don't know. I feel like it's just as good as, a goose human in your yard with a goose all around you. I mean, I don't see the...
Isn't that how all of us shop for cars?
Yeah.
And women's bondage gear, underwear,
Well, that's how I get the best deals.
and no pants.
Wow.
All right. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm just prolonging the inevitable, which is to say that the Seahawks lost yesterday, 30-17. We'll talk a whole bunch about it with Mitch Levy from Mitch Unfiltered at 7:17 this morning. But I mean, how do we sum it up? The secondary's red rotten. Coaching is awful. The defense sucks.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, I think you've pretty much, that's all you got.
Oh, here's Pete Carroll talking about it.
There's a really long season. There's a lot of games to be played, and we got to make sure that we get right and get better, and improve, and make some, make some adjustments so that it doesn't look the same as it did. We need to see 4 quarters consistent football enough to get a win, and we didn't have it today. It wasn't there.
I mean, doing well in the first quarter is not enough, or the first really opportunity to score, and that's it.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. Like you said, we'll talk about it with Mitch, but it seems like this is a learning curve for our new offensive coordinator. I would say that's really what...
offense, but the defense gave up 30 points again.
Oh, yeah,
that's the issue, is more of that.
Here's the thing, though. When it's that bad, I mean, that's a talent issue, and I'm not too sure what you can do about that.
I don't know if it's a talent issue or if it's a coaching issue.
Well, you may be right.
Or a combo platter.
Yeah, it's just, there was and we'll talk more about it with Mitch, but the coach he said some things that had Jordan Babineau thinking that it was a talent issue. Well, now, whether or not it's, I'd like to know, is it talent? Is it coaching? And if it's both, what's the percentage, Steve? Is it 50-50, 70-30? Because if it's talent, ooh, that is hard to fix.
Absolutely, unless you make some trades or pick up some guys. I think it's a combo platter. But boy, I mean, I know everyone wants to blame Ken Norton, but Pete Carroll's a defensive-minded coach. He likes to brag about that. And this defense sucks.
Well, I think there is a huge problem. There is a huge problem we'll talk about with that. Here's a good tease. We will talk to Mitch about the huge elephant in the room that was addressed a lot in the offseason, and we didn't want to believe that it was true, and maybe we wish it was true. How's that for a tease?
You mean the streaker? Because the streaker was fantastic. I don't know if you watched the streaker.
That was the best part.
The streaker? Here's the problem, though. They call him a streaker. He wasn't naked. He had shorts and a shirt on. I mean, he's like a clothes streak.
He's a runner, then.
It's like GIF and GIF. I mean, I don't know when the kids started renaming streakers, people that have clothes. Streakers are naked.
That's what I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a streaker is just someone who streaks the field. But I thought you had to be naked to be called a streaker.
No, you're not wrong, Steve, but they've decided to just take a word that was our word, and they're using it for the things that are not ours, and I don't like it.
What you got, Vicky?
According to the dictionary, it says it's a person who runs naked in a public place.
Isn't that a streaker? He's just a runner, like the Rev said. I mean, I'm glad he wasn't naked because at one point, I don't know if you saw the videos out there, fans. Of course, they didn't show it on the game, but you could just go online and find video of it on Twitter. At one point, he dodged the tackle and then did like a little somersault. And I did not want to see him naked if he was doing a somersault.
Oh, yeah. You don't want
and then he got rocked by one of the security guys, tackled like in the end zone. It was awesome.
Nice. Yeah.
Also, speaking about the Seahawks, Russell Wilson, I think for Halloween he's going to be playing a sad man trying to be optimistic. Here he is in this clip.
As we go throughout the season, there's going to be challenges. It's going to be a journey. We're not stopping here, and I think that our mentality has to be at the highest level always, and that's where we're at. So we know that, and we're prepared to do that, and we're prepared to go on this journey, and we know it's going to be tough. You take one game at a time. You play one moment at a time, and we can always be cleaner. We can always be better. But I believe in this football team. I believe in what we can do and what we will do.
All right, good luck to you, Russ.
It really sounds like a guy that wants to believe what he's saying.
Yes.
But really is having a hard time doing it.
Oh, man, but I mean, at least we're not Lions fans. I mean, that was a rough one. I don't know if you watched any of that. They lost to the Ravens when kicker Justin Tucker hit a record-breaking 66-yard field goal at the end of the game to beat the Lions.
Yeah.
And there's footage on Twitter of fans reacting like they had the cameras going, and it just looks like the most sad, beat-down fan base in the world when that happens. Something like that happens. It just kind of we're never going to be good.
Well, in insult to injury, they get to see their former boy just killing it for the Rams.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, you're right. Being a Lions fan right now, you're like, oh, you mean Stafford was good?
How about Tom Brady throws for 400 yards in passing, no interceptions, and still lost to the Rams as they ended up losing 34-24. I don't know if you caught this, though, during the game. They had to quickly get away from Tom Brady, but there was like a close-up on his face, and somebody that was a lip reader was able to figure out what he said.
Oh.
I can't say it, but I'll try.
Okay.
He said effing lollipop sucker, MFer, and then they quickly moved away from him.
Wow. Look at Tom and that potty mouth.
Damn lollipop suckers.
He never was like that in New England. This is supposed to be the Tampa influence.
Hey, Mariners beat the Angels yesterday 5-1. There's still hope, BJ. Yeah. I know it's getting slimmer and slimmer, but they're 2 games back at the wild card spot, and they play Oakland tonight at home.
The best thing that happened for the Mariners, at least, is that, somebody got swept in Boston. They would have liked it to be the Yankees. They'd be a game closer. But you know what? Hey, look, at the end of the day, they're still fighting. In it. Yeah, they're still in it.
Sounders beat Sporting KC yesterday 2-1. Yeah. And then, it's like you're bummed about the Hawks game, and I know it's preseason, but man, that Kraken game put me in a great mood by the end of the night.
That was a fun game to watch.
Just the fact that they were on the ice finally in Spokane for a preseason game against the Canucks. The moment they took the ice, bro, I had goosebumps. I'm like, it's finally here. This is as real as it gets. We have our team. They're out on the ice, and then they were looking great, just buzzing on the ice. They looked great. Look, at the end of the day, we have our starters playing against really Vancouver Canucks. A lot of the guys are just trying to make the team. So
right.
I would have been a little bit like, oh, that's a bummer if they lose, but it's again, it's preseason. We're trying to build chemistry with our team, so that, of course, we have all of our starters out there. But, man, they looked fantastic at the get-go, then gave up a couple of questionable goals. I mean, these are goals I don't think Grubauer will always give up, but it is what it is. And then they just came out strong in the second and the third period, and it was a lot of fun, especially that fourth line. I think that's going to be a very popular line with the Kraken hockey fans, which is Riley Sheehan, Brandon Tanev, and Nathan Bastian. Those guys just want to beat people's heads in and score at all costs, which was great. And it was Riley that scored the very first goal in Kraken history, granted preseason.
Out of the scrum, Bastian in front. Sheehan scores! Riley Sheehan! Right place, right time. The Kraken on the board.
And then they kept scoring and scoring and scoring, BJ. 5-3, they beat the Canucks.
So amazing. And you're going to hear this from me. It's my, it's my little conspiracy theory thing that I talk about, but it's not a conspiracy theory, but it's the theory of the three. The Kraken scored the third goal in that game, and they went on to win it. And I'll talk about that.
They scored the third goal first.
When I mean the third goal, out of all it was the third goal scored in the game. And that's what they talk of, because they were down 2-0, right?
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah, they say whoever scores the third goal of the game, if you look at hockey history, that team wins the game. It's like it's amazing what the record is for the person of the team that scores the third goal of the game.
Shockingly not covered in Kraken Hockey 101, the little special that they did before the game, which I thought was
Nobody
awesome.
covered that. I can't believe. Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun watch. I actually learned some stuff. I was like, okay, this is now I finally understand offsides, and I think I understand icing.
I thought they did a really good job of. I hope that they put that out there somewhere for people to watch. And also, great seeing Ross Fletcher, who usually did. He used to do Sounders games.
Yeah.
Now he's doing the hockey coverage. I thought he did great. John Forsland sounded great on the play-by-play. All in all, I thought that Root Sports did a really good job.
Definitely, and you're definitely seeing a diverse set of people talking about the game, and I think that is really cool. And obviously, what pretty much what the Kraken want. They are all about inclusivity, and you surely got that with the Root Sports team,
and just a lot of smart hockey minds. So that's all that matters to me. It's like a lot of great analysis during the game, and it was just a fun one to watch. And thank you, Texter, for saying I look great on Root Sports.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
that was pretty cool, man. I was part of the pregame show,
dude. What's interesting, man? They say that the television puts 10 pounds on somebody, and I was like, man, you look thinner on television. It was weird. I was like, I feel like he looks even thinner than he does in real life.
I demanded that they use the skinny filter.
That's what it is.
I was like, Ross, I'm not doing this interview unless you thin things out for me. I don't care how everyone else looks. You can widen it out all you want, but I better look skinny.
Yeah, that was fun, man, seeing you on there as you were like, yep, here's where hopefully I can get my wife to finally watch a hockey game.
Of all the clips they used, and I'm watching it with my wife, and she's like, you really said that? I was
I was like, I wonder if he's going to be in the doghouse after that one.
She thought it was hilarious.
Yes.
Because they're like, hey, how would this feel if you got the thing? I'm like, well, finally my wife will come and watch me actually play hockey for a change, because she never comes to watch my beer league games. But if she said, if I make the Kraken, she'll actually come and watch a game. So pressure's on, Kraken.
Yeah, you got to keep this marriage together. This is the way to get it done.
I know, sitting there at dinner, and I'm all pumped. I'm like, yeah, look, I'm on TV, and then that's the line that they used. I did 4 or 5 minute interview, and
that's great.
The part.
Love that.
Wasn't in the doghouse though, Danny. So that's good. And Kraken, they're not in my doghouse either. That was pretty awesome. That was so much fun. I'm so happy. They look great with the jerseys. They all wore number 21 coming out in the beginning.
Yeah, I saw that.
To represent the 2021 season. They're going to auction those jerseys off.
Oh, you know what? I missed. I was in the middle of that, so I didn't know what the 21 was all about. So thank you for letting me know that.
I don't know if they said that they're going to do the auction for charity, but I read that. They're going to be donating, I think, the money to Seattle Children's Hospital, which is pretty cool. And then a lot of people were confused at the end of the game. There was a shootout. They do that. They decided to implement that in the preseason. Teams have an option to do that as a way of practicing their shootouts for the regular season. So it had nothing to do with the actual impact of the exhibition game, but it was just an opportunity for both teams to get some reps in for shootouts, because you don't usually get those in preseason unless the game ends in a tie.
So it is going to be exciting to see. In a way, like you said, preseason is not. I don't know how soon into the preseason they really start playing the regulars, so they can all get up to speed. But it'll be nice if that's all we're doing. It's just always playing our dudes that we want to get rolling.
Oh yeah, we're playing our starters. Like you could see it. Like they're just trying to build that chemistry with those guys, and then they split duties with both goalies.
You said duties.
But man, that was a lot of fun. Defense looked really good. It was cool to see that the Rev was tweeting about how much he enjoyed hockey.
Oh, it's so amazing just to watch the whole game. Like, I've never watched a full hockey game before, and I was able to keep track of the puck. That was the one thing I was afraid of.
High def HD. Television has done it. Yeah,
so
it's really
amazing.
It's done hockey a favor, man.
And here's the fun part. I mean, we watched some fun. It's preseason. When the season starts, they're going to be a lot more aggressive. Like, there wasn't like a ton of I mean, I think when the regular season goes against, especially Vancouver, we're going to see some fights. We're going to see some rough play going on the ice. It's obviously not as crazy during preseason, but I think it's going to get a lot crazier once the season starts.
Awesome.
And Danny watched the hockey game too. I mean, everyone I think was watching the game. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it was just so wild, And I felt like, man, how cool for Spokane, because they were the first place to ever host a game featuring the new team, and boy, did they show up.
And they were rocking. Man, that was pretty cool to see all the Kraken gear out there as well. I had a couple buddies that live in Spokane that went to the game. They said it was just a great experience out there. And I don't know if they're planning on keeping this or if this was just a Spokane thing. But when they scored a goal, they busted into the part of Nirvana's Lithium, which I thought was actually...
wow. That would be cool if, in fact, that was the case. Also, got to give love to John Forslund and JT because they did a good job on because John said that it's tough to do a game in those kind of hockey arenas because they're just not designed for that. And it didn't sound like he missed a beat. He called a great game.
That's Kraken hockey.
Yeah.
I like how he said that when they scored a goal.
And I like that he's got a bit of a sense of humor because I watched him do a couple of interviews beforehand and talking to him, and I was like, all right, you know what? Because he gave you a good ribbon when we had him on for the show, and it's nice to see that he likes to throw a joke out there once in a while.
Hockey's all about the chirps. I think it's great. I think the announcers should have that same kind of energy that the players have. Everyone's giving each other a hard time, but in good-natured. And
definitely.
John is definitely that dude. And it's funny because when we had John on, there were a lot of people from the Carolina area that whenever we have him on, it seems like there's somebody that's always tweeting at us saying, you guys have a real treasure and an announcer. Like he was so well loved in Carolina when he was doing the Hurricanes games that I think we're in good hands with him as our play-by-play guy.
Nice.
As far as weather, 63 degrees. It's going to rain today. That's the major report. That's what's up.
That's what's up. It's going to rain today, huh?
A shock, right?
Oh, wow.
Man, it was dumping yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
It did. I know.
That was a good day to be inside, though. Well, at least for the first
Not
half.
From 1:30 to 4:30.
What happened during that time?
From 1:30 to 2 o'clock, I really was having a good time.
From 2 to 4:30, really bad choice to stay in.
On Friday, Steve did get this one right.
What small flightless bird is New Zealand's national symbol?
Oh, crap. A penguin.
No.
A koala.
No.
A kiwi.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that.
Boom.
Don't boom that, you koala flying nut.
Boom.
Am I going to have to Tom Brady you blanking koala blanking blanker? There we go. Hey, you want a shot at beating Steve? You got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're going to play Beat Miggs. We'll do that at 6:50 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. What's the difference between filing for bankruptcy and credit counseling?
Credit counseling is a useful process in some circumstances, but it does show up on your credit. In fact, from a credit scoring standpoint, credit counseling shows up just like a bankruptcy, so it's going to affect your credit as negatively as filing bankruptcy. In credit counseling, the idea is that a credit counselor works with your creditors on your behalf to try to lower interest rates or work out payment plans with your creditors to pay back your debt over time. In credit counseling, you almost always pay back 100% of the debt, sometimes at lower interest. And of course, some creditors will participate in that process and some won't. So you're usually left with kind of a mixed result with credit counseling and, of course, a high payment.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Kickstart summer at Lowe's with Memorial Day savings on major appliances like the smart Whirlpool top-load washer featuring the 2-in-1 removable agitator in a color you'll only find at Lowe's. Take it out for bulky items, leave it in for a more thorough clean. You can customize any load, plus skip steps with the Load and Go dispenser. Simply add detergent once and skip the refills. Memorial Day savings start now at Lowe's. Shop in-store or online today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.